Hello everyone and welcome to our final series, Exam Preparation. You have learned all the theory, but now we need to focus on how to use that knowledge to score top marks. Today, we are breaking down paper 1, the extended response paper. I will give you a simple, powerful structure that you can use for any 10 mark or 15 mark question to ensure you hit all the assessment criteria. Paper 1 consists of extended response questions based on the microeconomics and the microeconomics units. You will have to choose one question to answer from a choice of 3. Each question has 2 parts. Part A, a 10-mark explain question. Part B, a 15-mark discuss or evaluate question. The structure for answering them is similar, but the Part B question requires a deeper level of evaluation. To score highly, you need a clear logical structure. I recommend using the DED structure. This ensures you cover all the key components the examiners are looking for. DED stands for definitions, explanation, examples, diagram. Let's break down how to use this for a 10-mark question. D for definitions. Clearly define all relevant economic terms and concepts introduced in the question. Precision here sets a strong foundation. E for explanation. Elaborate on the economic theory, relationships, and causal links. Explain how and why things happen in the economic terms. E for examples. Provide real-world or hypothetical examples to illustrate your theoretical points. This demonstrates practical application and understanding. D for diagram. Draw and fully label appropriate economic diagrams. Crucially, integrate the diagram explanation into your written response, showing its relevance. Let's take a sample question. For example, explain why a government might impose an indirect tax on a good. Definitions. Start by defining all the key terms in the question. Here, you would define indirect tax and market failure or demerit good. This immediately shows the examiner you understand the basics. Explanation. This is the main body of your answer. Explain the theory step by step. Explain that the government might impose a tax to correct a negative externality or to discourage consumption of a demerit good. Explain how the tax works by increasing the cost of production. Examples. Use a real-world example to bring your theory to life. Talk about taxes on cigarettes, alcohol, or gasoline. This shows we can apply the concept. Diagram. Draw the correct, fully labeled diagram. For this question, you would draw the negative externality diagram and show how a tax can shift the MPC curve towards the MSC curve to achieve the social optimal quantity. Crucially, you must explain your diagram in the text. Now, let's look at the 15-mark question like evaluate the view that imposing an indirect tax is the most efficient way to deal with the market failure of gasoline consumption. For a 15-mark question, you need to do everything in the DED structure, but then add the crucial final section, evaluation. Your structure becomes DED plus evaluation. Your DED part would explain how the tax works, just like before. Your evaluation section is where you get the top marks. How do you evaluate? A great way to remember the different angles of evaluation is with the acronym CLASP, C-L-A-S-P. C for conclusions. Start your evaluation section with a concluding judgment. For example, while indirect taxes are an effective tool, they have significant limitations and may not be the most effective solution on their own. L for limitations, long run versus short run. Discuss the weaknesses of the policy. For a tax, you could mention that demand for gasoline is very inelastic, so the tax might not reduce consumption by much. You could also mention the potential for it to be regressive, hurting low-income individuals more. A for assumptions of the model. Does the theory always hold true in the real world? S for stakeholders. Who are the winners and losers? A tax on gasoline benefits the government, revenue, and society, less pollution, but it hurts consumers, higher prices, and producers. P for priorities, pros and cons. Weigh the advantages against the disadvantages. Is reducing pollution more important than the burden on low-income drivers? What are the alternative policies, like subsidizing public transport, and are they better? This structured evaluation shows the examiner you are thinking like an economist. The true test of your understanding lies in your ability to consistently apply these structures. Regularly practicing with past exams questions under time conditions will build your confidence and refine your writing style. Don't just read about it, do it. First, understand, identify key terms and demands. B. Apply, use DED, CLASP frameworks. Review, refine answers and check timing. Even with a solid structure, students often make common mistakes that can cost them valuable marks. Being aware of these pitfalls can help you avoid them and maximize your score. Lack of depth in explanation. Merely stating definitions without explaining the underlying economic mechanisms or causal links. Always ask how and why. Missing or poorly labeled diagrams. Failing to include a relevant diagram or including one that is not fully labeled and integrated into the text. Generic examples. Using vague examples that don't clearly illustrate the economic concepts in questions. Be specific and relevant. Weak evaluation. Simply listing pros and cons without critical analysis or failing to make a reasoned judgment. Use CLASP to structure a strong argument. Time management. Spending too much on a 10-mark question or not leaving enough time for a comprehensive 15-mark answer. Let's summarize the key to a great paper 1 answer. For any question, use the DED structure: definitions, explanation, examples, diagram. For a 15-mark question, add the final evaluation section. For your evaluation, use the CLASP method to consider different viewpoints, conclusions, limitations, assumptions, stakeholders, and priorities. By practicing with this structure, you will be able to write clear, logical, and high-scoring answers every time. Thanks for watching. In our next video, we will break down how to tackle the data response questions in paper 2. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe.